Some of the kindest people you will ever meet are exhausted, not physically, but emotionally. They're tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. Tired in a way no one seems to notice. They show up, they help, they listen, they smile, and somehow they keep going, even when something inside them is slowly wearing down. If you look closely, really closely, you can see it. The hesitation behind their yes, the heaviness behind their warmth, the silence behind their generosity. Kindness is praised as one of the highest virtues. We teach it early. We reward it often. We build identities around it. But kindness, like anything powerful, has a shadow. And when that shadow is ignored, kindness stops being healing and starts becoming harmful. For many people, this pattern begins early. A child learns that being agreeable brings approval, that being helpful keeps peace, that being easy to manage earns attention. Slowly, quietly, the nervous system learns a dangerous equation. Kindness equals safety. Needs are postponed. Discomfort is swallowed. Boundaries are blurred before they ever fully form. And over time, kindness stops being a choice. It becomes a survival strategy. That child grows into an adult who is dependable, understanding, endlessly accommodating. The one who never complains. The one others rely on. But when kindness is driven by fear, fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of losing love, it stops being genuine kindness. It becomes a mask, and masks are heavy. Worn long enough, they suffocate the person underneath. Think about the people who are always there for everyone else. They listen without interruption. They give without calculation. They sacrifice rest, time, even health to keep others comfortable. From the outside, it looks admirable. From the inside, it feels empty. Because beneath constant self-sacrifice lives a quiet question that rarely gets voiced. Who is taking care of me? Psychology has a name for what happens next. Compassion, fatigue. It's what occurs when empathy is overextended, when care flows outward with no place to return. This isn't limited to caregivers or professions built on service. It happens to everyday people whose identity becomes the kind one. Research consistently shows that people who chronically prioritize others over themselves experience higher levels of anxiety, depression, and burnout. Kindness without boundaries slowly erases the self, and that is its dark side. There's another layer that's even harder to see. Over time, kindness begins to teach others how to treat you. When you're always flexible, people stop checking your limits. When you never say no, your needs become invisible. Not out of malice, but conditioning. The paradox is painful. The kinder you are, the less seen you become. And invisibility is not peace. It's loneliness wrapped in politeness. None of this means kindness is wrong. True kindness is essential. But there is a critical difference between kindness that flows from fullness and kindness that bleeds from emptiness. One heals, the other. Studies confirm this distinction. Altruism improves well-being only when it is voluntary and authentic. When kindness is fueled by guilt, obligation, or fear, it increases stress and emotional exhaustion. The body knows the difference, even when the mind tries to justify it. And yet, many people stay trapped. They keep saying yes to avoid disappointing others. They keep giving to preserve connection. They keep sacrificing to maintain belonging. The cost is identity. Slowly, they lose touch with what they want, what they feel, who they are. Their inner world becomes unfamiliar territory. This is where suppressed emotions enter. Anger, resentment, grief, not expressed, but stored. Emotions denied don't disappear. They accumulate. They leak out sideways, through irritability, passive aggression, sudden emotional outbursts, or deep numb. The darkness people fear isn't created by kindness. It's created by kindness without honesty. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you abandon yourself, and abandonment always leaves a mark. So, why is this so common? Because many cultures quietly reward self. From childhood, kindness is framed as worth. Agreeableness is safer than truth. Love feels conditional on usefulness. Children who grow up in these environments often become adults who confuse people-pleasing with compassion. But real kindness includes the self. If your kindness costs you your mental health, your joy, your energy, it is no longer kindness. It is self-neglect, disguised as virtue. Neuroscience explains why this is unsustainable. Our brains are wired for empathy through mirror neurons. We feel others' pain as if it were our own, but the brain does not distinguish between healthy empathy and boundaryless empathy. Without limits, constant emotional exposure becomes chronic stress. The nervous system was never designed for endless giving. This is the quiet truth behind the dark side of kindness. Not that kindness is dangerous, but that unexamined kindness can become so. If this resonates, you're not broken. You're responding naturally to prolonged imbalance, the resentment, the exhaustion, the invisibility. These are signals, not failures. So how do you remain kind without disappearing? It begins with a difficult truth. Kindness must include you, not selfishness, not disregard. Inclusion. Boundaries are not rejection. They are honesty. A boundary says, this is what I can give, and this is where I stop. Psychology shows that people who set boundaries form deeper, more authentic relationships. Their yes is trusted because it's real. Their kindness comes from choice, not compulsion. Some relationships may change. Some may fall away. But connections built on endless self-sacrifice were never stable to begin with. There is even a term for kindness taken too far. Pathological altruism. Helping that harms. Giving that drains. Saving others at the expense of yourself. The shift is not abandoning kindness. It is reclaiming it. Pause before agreeing. Practiced gentle no's. Redefined worth beyond usefulness. Nourish your own inner world. Allow difficult emotions to speak before they harden. Kindness does not require a mask. It requires truth. The most authentic kindness comes from someone who can say yes and no with equal integrity. Someone who does not disappear to be loved, because the real danger is not anger, boundaries, or limits. The real danger is self-neglect. When kindness becomes self-respect, it stops draining and starts expanding. It no longer keeps others comfortable at your expense. It invites balance, honesty, and depth. That is the kind of kindness the world needs. Not silent suffering, not endless yeses, but compassion that includes the person giving it.